Good morning, everybody. Nice to have you with us on this Thursday here on High Heat. Kit Kat presents, and we and Alana now will give you a 60-minute baseball program on this April 4th day. The weather in the Northeast has been unbelievably bad. Somehow the Mets may just sit there in the stadium on Tuesday night, which I did not understand. Rained out, no chance they could play yesterday. They had to try a doubleheader here in about an hour. It is cold out, but it's dry, so we have that going on. And some day games today. We'll get to that in the course of our morning session with you here as he has some fun. All right, let's do a brush back. Chris Panetti, of course, and all the fellas in charge of the production show. And let's start with the A's. This just came down about 10 minutes ago. No surprise. The commissioner told us last Thursday that he expected a decision soon. And the A's just announced that they will spend the interim before we get Vegas. And we all know that. We think there's a little shaky scenario there, although the commissioner was 100% sure that Vegas would happen. But the A's will play in Sacramento in the interim here these next 3 seasons. So after this year, they will leave Oakland and they will play in Sacramento. They're going to play in the River Cats ballpark. It holds about 14,000 people if you consider the Burns in the outfield, 10,000 seats. It's owned by the Sacramento Kings. The King owner and John Fisher, the A's owner, I guess they're friends. And, of course, this negates a last-second opportunity for the city of Oakland to work out a deal where they could at least the A's play in the Alameda Coliseum for the next 3 years. The A's and the city of Oakland had that conversation a couple days ago. I don't know how serious the A's were involved in that. They go to Sacramento, 90 miles east of Oakland, and they will play the next 3 years. Sacramento's going to probably try to prove to Major League Baseball that they can be a big league city, that they can be a baseball town. Obviously, they have the Kings, but nothing else. They are the capital of that of the state of California, as we know. And down the road, they might want trying to get an expansion team, and they also might want to be in the mix if, in fact, something happens in Vegas long term that's negative with the A's. Now, they did tear down the Tropicana Casino there a couple days ago, and that is where the new ballpark is going to be. And Rob, the commissioner, Mr. Manfred, did tell us last Thursday that he is 100% convinced that Vegas is going to happen for the A's. So we will go with that. Rob knows. And Rob did tell us that this A's situation will be resolved shortly so they can get the schedule out in 2025. And obviously, it's a week later. The Major League Baseball union's got to approve this. I would think they would. There's no other great solution. And I will say this. Listen, bottom line is to stay in Oakland for the next 3 years as a lame duck, that was not the right approach. I don't care what the deal was. There's no the A's fans and the A ownership, that bridge has been burned. They have drawn 2,000 or 3,000. And listen, I don't blame the A's fans for not supporting the team on this first homestand, but nobody has shown up. It's been a disaster. They will draw better in Sacramento because they're getting into it with the A's. It's not too far away. We'll see about the TV contracts with Bay Area, San Francisco. They incorporate, they get $67 million a year. We'll see how that works itself out. But I don't blame the A's for leaving because it's not an attainable situation. It's bad. There's bad blood all the way around. The fan base can't stand the A ownership. It's time to get out. I mean, if you're going to leave in 3 years, leave now. If you can, they can. They go to Sacramento. The ballpark was built in 2000. They're going to split it, the home dates, with the Giants affiliation, the River Cats, who play there too. I'm sure they can figure that out. It's the right thing. If you're going to leave Oakland, leave. Don't stay there for 3 years. It makes no sense whatsoever. And maybe down the road, Sacramento will be in line. If something happens in Vegas, which it sounds like it's full systems go, we'll have to wait and see. So that's an item of information we had to get on the board for you, and it just came down a couple minutes ago. And I understand the decision by the A's franchise. I think it's probably good for baseball. Oakland's a bad look all the way around. That's number one. And I'm not blaming anybody. It's just it didn't work out. You want to blame the ownership? Go ahead. You want to blame the city of Oakland? Go ahead. Whatever the case, it was time to leave. That's the bottom line. bottom line. All right, that's number one. Let's go down the coast. Let's do a little baseball here, and let's do a little Dodgers and Giants. The Dodgers, obviously, 7-2 right out of the gate. They had the one huge win, that two-run homer by Muncy in the bottom of the 8th inning Sunday against St. Louis to win that series 3-1. They split the 2 games in Seoul, which were hard games to play, tricky travel, and obviously back to the West Coast to play exhibition games. They beat the Giants 3 straight. They have owned the Giants the last couple years. They beat them 3 in a row. Close games necessarily, but they beat Ryan Harrison last night. They withstood a late rally by San Francisco. They did a good job against Logan Webb earlier on in this series. And the Dodgers at 7-2. Listen, we know they're going to have a big year. They've scored 5 runs, I think, in every game they've played, which is the first time they've ever done that. Home run, of course, yesterday by Ohtani, his first of the year. Betts has hit home runs basically in every game. I think he's got 5. He's been tremendous, too. So, Freeman's only got the 1 home run, Henry cover. They got again, I don't love Teoscar Hernandez has done well, but I don't love the bottom of that lineup. I didn't like what I saw last year in postseason play. I don't love it. There's too many interchangeable parts, whether it's Hayward and Chris Taylor, and they platoon, they look for matchups and everything else. It's almost like they play 2 different teams outside of the big 4, in the course of a game. And I think that come back to bite them in the rear end, because if you're playing so many different lineups in the course of these games, that tells you don't have big-time starters. Outman and Hayward and Taylor. I don't love the players from that perspective. I think Betts at shortstop down the road's a little dicey. They are protecting Yamamoto to make sure they give him as much chances to be successful as they possibly can. They did not pitch him in the opener in Seoul. They did not pitch him in the opener at Dodger Stadium. They pitched him Saturday to give him an extra day off before they go play the Cubs on Wrigley Field. So the Dodgers are going to protect. The Dodgers are going to get themselves. They know they're going to be in the playoffs. They got to win in October. They're going to do everything they can to do that. Buehler has pitched in the minor leagues. Not great, but he's pitched. So maybe they feel they're not too far away to have him back a couple of months. And maybe at the most, we'll have to wait and see. Glasnow's done his thing. They're doing bullpen scenarios, which I don't love. They need some extra starting pitching. We shall see. But the Dodgers are basically a work in progress. The top 3 in the order is going to carry them. They're going to win the division by 1,000,000 games. They got a very big bullpen, and they're going to try to sort everything out by, say, middle of September, and then make a run at a championship. So we'll keep an eye on that. Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman are too good. Now, the Yankee front 3 is great, too, but those 3 are superb, and the Dodgers are who they are. The Giants, obviously, listen, they don't have a big-time guy in that lineup who's going to scare the daylights out of you. Farhan Zahidi's been here a long time. He's not been great. We love Melvin, but still, the Giants have not been a very successful team. They had the one good year, and in that year, they got unlucky with 107 wins, having to play the Dodgers in the divisional series. They won playing 4, which was not right because the Dodgers won 106. That's where the seeding's got to be redone. But in fact, the Dodgers beat him in a 5th game, and away we go. San Francisco is who they are. Arizona, they had a rough series against the Yankees. They could have won yesterday to win that series 2-1. Arizona's a pretty good team. San Diego did not play that well against St. Louis. It remains to be seen about them. Dodgers, Padres, Diamondbacks will probably be in the mix for spots 5 and 6. Not probably, will be in the mix for spots 5 and 6 in the NL wild card hunt. Phillies will probably be 4, and the Dodgers will win. Braves will win the divisions, I would think, going away. Dodgers are going to be very good, and plus they're going to draw crazy. I mean, they might hit 4 million fans. They're going to put 50,000 in that ballpark on most days. Ohtani's a special sight. Yamamoto's going to help a little bit. They are going to draw like nuts. They're going to they might draw 4 million. It's never been done. I don't think it has. I don't think Toronto did it back in the heyday in the Rogers Center. I mean, they're going to draw 4 million people. The Dodgers are going to be the storyline all year long. They make 5 road trips on the East Coast. They make a Cub twin road trip this week. They play in Wrigley Field tomorrow, so we keep an eye on them. All right, that's number 1. Blue Jays, I'd be worried about them. They're lucky they won 1 game in Houston. Davis Schneider hit the home run against Josh Hader a couple nights ago. I'd be very worried about Hader. He has not pitched well. I would be concerned by him. If I was a Astro fan, they gave him $95 million. They gave him a ton of money. I know Presley's a free agent, but still, and the Blue Jays, of course, losing 2 out of 3, and they go play the Yankees now at Yankee Stadium before they play their home opener Monday against Seattle. Blue Jays don't hit. They get no hit, then they score, then they get 1 hit. It's very strange offensive team. So that's where we stand on a busy morning. It's good to have you with us. The A's move in the interim to Sacramento, which will start next year, is your big talking point. Here's Alana, did an able job, superb, of course, on a Wednesday, and she says hello, Miss Rizzo, how are you today?
I'm good. Good to have you back as always, Chris. I'm taking away this from this Wednesday program or yesterday's program. What is going on with the Marlins? You're talking a lot about the Dodgers, obviously, but the Marlins, my God, have not won a game all season long. And this is a team that made the postseason last year. They're the first team ever to lose their first 7 games of a year after making the postseason last year. And this is why I wonder, why do you allow Kim Ng to walk out the door? You know, she wasn't necessarily fired, but she was feeling like she was being demoted after bringing in somebody above her. That was unnecessary. This is a team that's allowed 51 runs in their 7 games. That's 7.3 runs per game. Reigning batting champ Luis Ariz, he's batting 185 right now, Chris. Shortstop Tim Anderson batting 231. He scored just 1 run in 7 games. This is a team that is obviously, you know, barreling their way to become sellers. If you look at, and on the other side, let's think positively about what Ron Washington has done with the Angels. He had a team meeting after day 1, and basically they rolled off some wins after that. So the Marlins are absolutely terrible, and the Angels seem to have things going at least in the right direction. So far, that's kind of been my takeaway of what's happened for the first week of the season.
Yeah, very poor by Miami. Their pitching's a mess. They don't have a great hitting team anyway. You're right. The Ng thing was very strange. Now, she left without having another job, which is odd because she's not working for a major league team, I don't think, at the moment. But you're right. She did a heck of a job there, and she should not have had what happened to her. I'm with you 1,000%. Lots to still do.
There is a speed bump on the front. is a speed bump on the front. There is a speed bump on the front.